Hello. In this video, we will be creating a Python program that will compute the perimeter of a rhombus. So this is a calculator from online. It's from Omni Calculator, created by Hannah Pamulda. Hopefully I said it correctly. She does a really good job creating this calculator that computes rhombus, triangles, parallelograms, and so on. So for this program, we look at rhombus, and the way to compute that is that we either find the perimeter given sides or diagonals. So given sides, she also has a picture to show us visually what we're looking at. So this is side A, and the other side is side A also, because all sides are, if you recall, in a rhombus are equal, of equal length. So that's option one, and then option two is if we know the diagonals of our rhombus, then we can compute the perimeter. So she calls the first diagonal E, it goes the long one, and then the second diagonal is F. So we will compute, we will put in numbers at the end of our at the end of this video after we create our program, our Python program for the rhombus perimeter. That's when we will check numbers. All right. So what I've done here, this is our program here. This is I've created a file called rhombus perimeter.py and imported everything from math. And this is our print menu, just like in her program. So in the first option, the first option is given the size, we will compute the perimeter given size, and then in the second option is given diagonals, we find the perimeter. So these functions get side A. These are all for user inputs, restricting the user to only enter positive values. So these functions are going to be called in our program to do all the calculations, just like in her program. She chooses one of the sides and then or diagonals and then does the computations, finds the perimeter that way. So what I've done here is that I've borrowed side A all the way to side E and F, because those are all needed. I mean, in this program we will be using A, we won't be using B and C, but we will need to use E and F because enter the diagonal for E. So that's option 2, right? So we need to borrow these two functions to do to fill in the second function, basically, to do the second choice, find the perimeter given the second choice. And then this one we won't be using. This is side H. This is for the height. This will be used for future programs. And the angles we're not going to be using in this program also, but it's there. It's a tool in our toolbox. Think of it as like a 8mm socket in your automotive can of tools, basically in your toolbox. You have sockets, ratchets, and wrenches, and I don't know, oil filter wrench or whatever tool you need. That's what we have here. That's why it's there. And we can actually hide these if we don't want to. If we don't want to use it, we can just go ahead and hide these function, just like that. And we can do that with side H. That's a good thing about VS Code. We can just, I don't think we can do that in Python. Anyway, so in the first, for the first function here, to compute the perimeter, we are gonna need the side. So we can say A equals get, I believe it's side A, like that. Let me double check, actually. I don't think so. Get side A and then just copy and paste this yeah, just like that. So copy and paste that without the colon, obviously. When you call a function, just do it up to the brackets that takes the parameters. In this case, we have no parameters. All right, for the first function, that's all we need. And in our else command, we said the perimeter is 4 times A, and that's what I have here. This is a text document. These are the perimeters that are needed to compute the perimeters of the rhombus. There are 2 choices, and these are the perimeters. And if I go back to our calculator, these are given. Yes, these are given to us. For rhombus here, it says 4A, and if the option is chosen as A, that would be the getting size, and then or the perimeter is 2 times the square root of E squared plus F squared. So these two perimeter functions I've copied and pasted, but had to redo it in Python programming, according to Python. So 4 times A, we need the symbol for multiplication, and then we need to borrow the square root symbol for math, and then E squared plus F squared. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste this, and then copy and then close it, and then go back to the code, go back under main, and then paste it. So in the first function, we will be using, just do a control X, we will be using this one here in the else command. In the try block, we just get the user input. Except block is exception handling. It says invalid input for strings and numbers that are like negative numbers in this case. that would be a problem. And then, or else, we do the computation for perimeter. We print out the results to the user, and then we break out of the program. That's what the function does. All right, that's the first function. And then for the second function, we're going to have e equals, and then we're going to borrow side e here. Get side e, just copy and paste this. And then f equals get side f. Just like so. And then here we compute the perimeter, so control X this one, and then paste it into the else block. So we're basically done now. We have the first function that will compute the perimeter given one side, because the rhombus are 4 sides of equal length, so we only need one side. And or we have the given 2 sides that would be given the 2 diagonals. We compute the perimeter here, down here, and then we print in both cases in 3 decimal places. %.3f, that's what it does. It'll round to 3 decimal places. All right, so let's go ahead and run our program. I'm gonna check exception handling right away, see if that's taken care of. So let's choose option 3 in this case. It says invalid input. Choose options 1 or 2. Let's enter a string t. It does the same thing. It says invalid, and it loops back to entering a right number. So let's choose option 1. So let's enter a side 5, and then the perimeter is 20 because it's 4 times the side. So that's option 1. Let's run it again. Let's choose option 2 and compare it to the calculator. So option 2, and then for diagonal E, we're going to enter 7.5, and then for F, we're going to enter 11.11. See what we get. So we get that the perimeter is 26.809. So let's go ahead and exit out of the program. We hit Y for yes, and then let's check with the calculator here, diagonal. So we had 7.5, and then we got 11.11. So we get 26.81, and in our program we got 26.809. So it's off by 1 over 1,000 basically. But we are rounding to 3 decimals, so that's why it's that number. All right, so that's how we create a Python program that computes the perimeter of a rhombus. Thanks for watching.